There's a moment when Walter White stops cooking meth to provide for his family. There's a moment when he stops being afraid, when cancer is no longer his defining opponent. There's a moment, quiet but seismic, when he realizes he likes it. The control. The fear in others' eyes. The power. And from that moment forward, everything changes. Breaking Bad is not just a show about a man breaking the law. It's a character study in what happens when an ordinary man discovers a darker version of himself and falls in love with it. Walter White begins as someone we pity. He's meek, overlooked, constantly swallowing his pride. But somewhere beneath the humility is a repressed rage, a thirst for significance he's never been allowed to feel. When that thirst meets power, it becomes addictive. It becomes the drug that truly transforms him. Walter begins the series with a terminal diagnosis and a bruised ego. He's a high school chemistry teacher working a second job at a car wash. He's brilliant but invisible. The world doesn't reward his intelligence, it humiliates it. The ticking clock of his mortality pushes him to reclaim some sense of control. Initially, this comes in the form of providing for his family, a noble cause, or so he says. But that motive doesn't hold up for long. Very quickly, we begin to see glimpses of something deeper, more dangerous. He doesn't just want to provide, he wants to dominate. He wants to feel alive. His transformation into Heisenberg isn't just a practical one, it's psychological. It's his ego, long starved and humiliated, finally stepping into the light. Walter's descent is marked by a growing obsession with power, not money, not even survival, but the raw, unfiltered experience of control. In the early episodes, we're shown a man who's tired of being small. And for a while, we want him to win. We want the bullied man to strike back. But the brilliance of Breaking Bad is how it twists that sympathy into horror. He doesn't stop when his goals are met. He keeps going. He gets a high from manipulating people, from orchestrating fear, from becoming the one who knocks. Power, for Walter, becomes the only thing that makes him feel significant, even if it costs him everything. It becomes the new drug. This is what addiction looks like in the realm of identity. His meth empire isn't about necessity anymore. It's about pride. It's about rewriting the story of his life, not as a victim of circumstances, but as the author of his fate, a fate where he is feared, respected, and remembered. Walter often lies to himself and others about why he does what he does. "I did it for my family," he repeats like a mantra. But the truth slips out in one of the most powerful scenes of the series, when he finally admits, "I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it." It's a rare moment of honesty. Because under every lie he told, even to himself, was a man who couldn't go back to being invisible. The need to feel powerful, especially after a life of powerlessness, can become its own prison. Once he tasted what it felt like to be in control, nothing else mattered. His family, his morality, his legacy, all secondary to the rush. Power didn't just corrupt him, it consumed him. And what's tragic is that Walter was never fully honest about that need. He pretended to be a martyr when he was really an emperor in disguise. He was a man whose soul had calcified around his pride. He couldn't quit even when he wanted to. Because he needed it. He needed the world to see him, not as Walter White, the man, but as Heisenberg, the myth. Walter's transformation is seductive because it touches on something universal. Many people live lives that feel small, overlooked, powerless. And when we see Walter reclaim his strength, we cheer. We relate. But Breaking Bad doesn't let us stop there. It dares to ask what happens when the desire for empowerment turns into domination. When we stop fighting back and start becoming the thing we hated. In trying to reclaim his dignity, Walter loses his humanity. His rise is paired with destruction of lives, relationships, innocence. Jesse, Skyler, Hank, even his own son, they all become casualties in his pursuit of self-worth. That's the price of ego unchecked. That's what happens when power becomes the drug of choice. There's a reason Breaking Bad still resonates. It's not just because of the tension or the drama, it's because Walter White is terrifyingly real. He's the man who never got over being underestimated. The man who believed he was owed greatness. The man who decided that fear was better than obscurity. But Breaking Bad is not a celebration of that transformation. It's a warning. A cautionary tale about how easy it is to mistake power for purpose. To lie to ourselves about why we chase certain things. To think that if we can just control enough, earn enough, build enough, dominate enough, we'll finally be enough. Walter didn't break bad. He broke open. And what came out was the part of him he spent his whole life pretending wasn't there. So here's the question Breaking Bad leaves us with. When we finally get the power we think we deserve, who do we become? And what are we willing to destroy to keep it?